the Suez Canal. It is the maritime gateway between Asia and Europe, the waterway shortcut between the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. For over 150 years, it has facilitated the movement of billions of tons of cargo. And to this day, it remains as one of the world's most heavily used shipping lanes. Okay, I just received a phone call for end of sea passage, and our ship will be arriving shortly at the northern entrance to Suez Canal. Our ship has been crossing the Mediterranean for about 2 days. And now, here we are, approaching Port Said, the northern entrance to Suez Canal. Okay, so we have just finished our maneuvering and we are now here at the Suez Canal Anchorage area. The usual convoy schedule is around 2300 and 0300. We still don't know what time our convoy is, but here in the Anchorage area is where we will wait until further notice. We had to stay anchored for a few hours while waiting for our schedule. But soon enough, the pilot came on board and we started maneuvering towards the entrance. Ships transit the canal in convoys, which are carefully planned so as to maximize the number of ships passing through the narrow channel each day. It is arranged in such a way so as to facilitate the northbound and southbound transits, as most segments of the canal are wide enough for only a single lane. An average of around 50 ships pass through the Suez Canal daily, which covers a distance of around 120 miles. The northbound and southbound ships will eventually meet at the Great Bitter Lake, which is roughly around the midpoint of the transit. So right now, we are transiting the Suez Canal. It's been about 6 hours since we entered from the north side, and currently I'm on watch. So shortly, our ship will be anchoring because we'll be waiting for the next convoy sequence before we can proceed southwards and eventually exit the canal after about 3 hours or something like that. But I'm not sure until what time we will be staying at the Anchorage area. And right now it's 0600 hours and I think it's daylight already, so let's have a look outside. Although a number of ancient canals were dug in this region since the time when Egypt was under the rule of the pharaohs, and then eventually the Romans, it was only during the French occupation of Egypt in 1798 when Napoleon ordered the first survey across the Isthmus of Suez. Further studies were conducted in the mid-1800s, and construction began in 1859. The waterway was completed in the span of 10 years, and eventually, the Suez Canal officially opened on November 17, 1869. Originally, the canal consisted only of a very narrow channel, about 8 meters deep and 22 meters wide at the bottom. In the first 15 years of its operation, around 3,000 ships went aground. Continuous improvements in the canal were carried out for the next 90 years, until it was blocked in 1967 during the Arab-Israeli War. It remained inoperative until June 1975, when it was reopened and improvements were resumed. During its first full year of operation in 1870, there were only 486 transits, which moved a total of 444,000 tons of cargo. In 2019, approximately 19,000 ships, carrying more than 1.2 billion tons of cargo, transited the Suez Canal. Right now, our ship just finished dropping anchor, so we're here at the Anchorage area of Suez Canal. If I'm not mistaken, this is called the Bitter Lake. Don't ask me why. Anyway, we will be waiting here for a few hours until the pilot comes on board and we resume our convoy all the way out of Suez Canal and headed to our discharging port. The Great Bitter Lake is more or less the halfway point of the transit. It's where the convoys interchange in using the northern and southern channels. So every time ships pass through Suez Canal, there will be a riding team or a riding crew, electrician and boatmen, who will come on board the ship and stay. They will stay on board until eventually the ship leaves the canal. Now these guys, they usually bring businesses on board. They sell a lot of stuff, souvenirs, SIM cards, and a lot of other random stuff that the crew might be interested in. Stuff like Egyptian figurines, papyrus paper, and a lot of other stuff. Let's check it out. Okay, so for me, I bought only these two items because these were all I need. A SIM card and a speaker cable. We stayed at anchor for a few hours. One by one, we watched as the northbound ships passed us by. So from up here in the bridge wings, we can get a view of the Great Bitter Lake. Although there's nothing much to see beyond but sand, the calm waters and the clear skies still offer the beautiful backdrop for the ships that are anchored in the Bitter Lake. So I just got a call from the bridge. I think the pilot is approaching our ship and we're getting ready to heave up the anchor so we can finally exit Suez Canal. As the pilot came on board, we made the ship ready and resumed our transit. When the canal first opened, transit time averaged around 40 hours, as ships would stop in bays to allow other ships from the opposite direction to pass by. The convoy system was adopted in 1947, which greatly reduced transit times. For the past 150 years, the Suez Canal has undergone numerous dredgings, expansions, and improvement in facilities and management. At present, the transit time now ranges between 11 to 16 hours. From then until now, the Suez Canal has given ships plying the routes between Asia and Europe the option to save time and fuel if they are willing to pay the toll, which is calculated more or less based on the ship's tonnage. I don't know exactly how much our ship's transit costs, but based on the Suez Canal toll calculator, which can be found online, the estimate is around $230,000 US. As our ship approached the southern end of the Suez Canal, the boatmen and the other members of the riding gang prepared to disembark. It took us a total of 16 hours, including the time at anchor, to complete the southbound transit. And as we finally went through the exit, the pilot disembarked and our ship resumed her voyage.